in the final 15 minutes of this friendly war between Elite Gaming and Dark Looters Z, with only a few attacks remaining. Who will end up being victorious? Let's find out. What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video, where we are going to recap our friendly war against Dark Looters Z. There has been some brilliant attacks. We're going to start off with two Town Hall 10 triples, Town Hall 10 V10 triples. As you can see, it's been a very close war, just one star in it, and only 3 attacks remaining. So let's get into some of them attacks then. We've had plenty of dip attacks, getting the 3 stars, but starting with the Town Hall 10 V10 triples. This one is the Miners. Then we had a Lavaloon attack, which was actually fantastic. Then we'll move down through a variety of Town Hall 9 attacks to see who will win after the 15 minutes. So if you enjoy this one, guys, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Clash of Clans. If you are interested in joining Elite Gaming, all of our feeder clan information is in the description of the video. So we start this one with the Queen Walk in the north, and then we're just creating the funnel here. So you've seen this before with the Miners. If you missed my most recent video, I'll link it up in the top right. It was using the Miners at Town Hall 10 V10, and it's fantastic, guys. It really works well if you set it up correctly. So the Queen coming in here, and notice them 3 wizard towers. The main thing for the Miners is the splash damage. Well, at Town Hall 10, it's the Inferno towers, but the splash damage is massive, guys. So if you can eliminate that, as we are in this attack, it's going to help drastically. We're also getting the CC lure. Now that golem is the main threat in the CC against the Miners. If you just bring your Miners forward and that thing bursts, it will take out all of them Miners. So very important, if there's a golem in the CC and you're planning to use Miners, you need to get that down. The King with just a couple of wizards creating the funnel on the opposite side of the map there. Now, we tend to use the Queen on one side and the King on the other, but it's almost pointless having the King there without any extra backup. He's got so much health that you really need a couple of wizards just to help him out. We've then had the Miners pushing right the way forward, and they've actually rushed in front of the Queen in order to help keep her alive and help with cleanup. So that Queen charge or Queen walk, whatever one you want to implement into your attack, really does help out. You're then using the Rage and the Heal spells very sparingly. The Rage spells help you to get onto them Inferno towers, and the Heal spells, well, pretty self-explanatory. They help to keep them Miners alive. As you can see here, quite common to have skeleton traps right around the Inferno towers to really try and slow your Miners down where you can't heal them, guys. And again, that Queen charge you will see here comes in very, very handy, because the Miners, although it doesn't really matter in this attack, you can run out of time if you don't quite get that spread. If you haven't created the funnel, they are a little bit slow, guys, so you have to take that into account. In this one, we've still got plenty of Miners. They're spread across the map. Notice how we've got them there at the bottom as well. And the wizards with the King also help with cleanup. Again, that Queen charge or Queen walk, whatever is best based on the base design, is very, very helpful. So as we move back to the board here, you can see we've actually had 1 extra attack, and that is another dip attack. So that puts us 2 in the lead. I'm not actually sure whether Dark Looters can actually get 2 stars to pull this level, if we'll even have them on percent, which we might, but we're just going to stick with the attacks, show you as much gameplay as possible, and obviously see who wins in the end. So this one, a very nice Lavaloon attack, and you'll see them skeleton spells. I always like the use of the skeleton spells in these Lavaloon attacks. I think they're just brilliant, to be honest. So very patient to begin with. Any buildings that you can pick off. It's not like Town Hall 11. You don't even have to worry about that Eagle artillery. You're going to try and pick off them buildings, create the funnel. We've got the baby dragon there just distracting the buildings, and a couple of balloons, very unfortunately, just missed that Tesla. Now what we're doing is trying to create a path here to the Inferno tower. Again, said it again so many times at Town Hall 10. the Infernos are the main thing, so you need to try and target them. On this one, they're quite close to the edge of the base, so as we use the King and the Queen to take out the defenses at the north of the Inferno Tower, and we've taken out that Tesla, it just means we have a clear path in. Now as it happens, we've managed to wall break in, take out the Inferno Tower with the Queen, but again we have that Golem in the CC, not as big of a deal as it is for the Miners against a Lavaloon attack, but still we can get that down, and we have taken out an Inferno Tower. We also have a couple of air defense there as well, but it's not as key. You can actually use that to your advantage depending on the base design. It's really that Inferno Tower that you need to focus on. So we're then switching across to the north, using the haste spells. Notice the Inferno Towers from the west in nice and early. You need to be going around the base and taking out them defenses on the perimeter as well, because you want your balloons to almost merge. Look at this. Our balloons are merging in the middle. You don't want your balloons kind of dotting around the base all over the place. You want to start on the perimeter and close into the center, where you can then use your main spells. Check out that rage spell where them key defenses and the high damage is going to be. His spells on the outside push the balloons in, where you can use the main spells in the middle. And that generally is your general focus of a Lavaloon, but it obviously does depend on the base design. On this one, there's nothing left which is going to take down them balloons. Plenty of minions on the outside for cleanup, because you cannot forget, guys, about that cleanup, even more so than the Miners. The balloons can be very slow if they've clumped up, which 9 times out of 10 they do. Often you'll see one balloon saved, or if you have the cleanup troops, then you can go ahead and just smash the 3-star as we did in that attack. So brilliant stuff. Let's move down to some of the Town Hall 9 attacks. Still 8 minutes left with one attack either side. We're actually going to start off with number 34 here, which is a brilliant dragon attack. I'm a massive fan of the dragons. You know, you guys will know that I am a big fan of the dragons, and I just feel like some of these attacks where you're picking apart the base, taking out air defense and key defenses, then coming in with a troop that is obviously strong once you've taken that down, is just, you know, it's what I love about the strategy of the game. So again, a couple of, you know, troops on the outside just to help with percent, but also to help create that funnel. One single minion is enough to do it there, where we have the King also helping with the funnel. And look at the Queen just nips into this little pocket to take out them air defense. Just brilliant. Not a massive kill squad needed, so we can then focus on the main bulk of our army, which is them dragons. And again, the dragons can be a little bit slow if you haven't set up the attack, especially if they've got, you know, to go across a lot of buildings across the entire base. So if they had to travel, let's say, from this expo up to that army camp, it might take the dragons a little while. However, one archer up there is going to take that down. Again, we're just using the Queen and the King quite sacrificially, and the entire western part of the base is down, so we can focus the dragons right through this area. They're just going to move straight and sweep through the base, and notice how we've narrowed the base here so that we can use the spells effectively on the dragons, but also they're not going to run out of time. Like we said, they can be quite slow. A few balloons is always quite nice, just to sneak them in there whilst the defenses, are distracted. And you'll have seen this a few times on some of my Town Hall 9 videos, if you have watched them, using that Lava Hound on them back-end Inferno Towers. I'm still on Town Hall 10. The back-end air defense and sneaking them balloons in, because again, that's the main threat to the dragons. Similar to at Town Hall 10, where you are focusing on the Infernos, you need to prioritize the defenses. And on this one, it's obviously the air defense for them dragons, especially if they're at the back of the base. And it's going to be the last thing the dragons get to. So on this one, as you can see, they've nicely moved through the base here. Plenty of dragons down at the bottom with a heal and a rage spell left over. So amazing by Jacob. Quite the swag there at the end, really showing off. And again, just loved that attack. Let's move up to another one. I mean, there's just so many attacks to choose from, guys. There really is. The guys over at Elite Gaming here, they're just absolutely amazing, and I'm always privileged to be able to show their content. Again, Feeder Clan information down in the description. I love this attack strategy, I really do, guys. Using that Queen charge, again, we're picking apart the base, taking out some of the defenses and the areas of the base that will be difficult for our main army. And on this one, it is the Hog Riders, so we're easily creating the funnel here with the baby dragon at the north and the west of the base, and that wizard just to create that funnel. And look at the queen, there's nowhere for her to go except into the base here. And you'll notice that we do have a couple of nice wall breakers there as well. So we're just going to wait patiently at this point so that we can target them wall breakers effectively. With this wizard tower standing, if we did use the wall breakers, remember the wall breakers target buildings, not walls. You have to remember that, guys. So they would have tried to open up that wall before we'd taken that wizard tower down. However, notice how they ignore that wall and go straight for the one here, which we're trying to break open. Had to use that rage spell to help out a little bit, and the queen again is going to go nicely into that pocket. We're going to get the CC, the enemy queen, and basically if you check it out, there's so many gaps at the base up in the north here that there's so much room for giant bombs. Now that Hog Rider on the expo is fantastic to not only lure the clan castle, it means that the queen doesn't come down here and be in his heavy fire. She's kind of out the way of the defenses a little, but also it just tested for a giant bomb at the expo there as well. So almost killing two birds with one stone. King has done a fantastic job walking around the side of the base. Again, a couple of whizzies just to back him up. And that's just carved a beautiful path here within the base. Check out how the Hog Riders can just move right the way through the base. And that heal spell was needed quite quickly there, over by that cannon where the double giant bomb was. I'm pretty sure this was just a fresh hit, to be honest, watching the attack itself. We're then coming into this little pocket of defenses where, again, similar to the Lavaloon attack, you don't want your Hog Riders running all around the base. You want to try and converge them. That's where the surgical deployment comes in. Also just means that if there are giant bombs, all of your Hog Riders aren't getting blasted with one giant bomb, but you can then merge your heal spells. The giants as well are brilliant if there's a lot of point defense. Just they have more hit points than the Hog Riders, guys. So if you have, I'd say probably 3 point defense, it's often worth bringing a giant just to distract them when your Hog Riders come through. And again, fantastic attack, really. Make sure to let me know down in the comments what your favorite Town Hall 9 attack is. Just 3 minutes left and we are still 2 in the lead, so that's brilliant stuff. Let's move up to number 22. I kind of feel like waiting just to see if there's a live attack at the end here, but let's just keep the action rolling so we're not sitting around and we can recap right at the end of the war. So this one then, guys, notice again all of them haste spells. That's what's super important with a Lavaloon, and we slow down the attack there, just skipping straight through it. We have some nice little Tesla farms really trolled at the top there, so this one looks a little bit more like an attack that has been scouted. So the king here coming at the Tesla farm, and if it's not, guys, it's fantastic adaptation, I'll tell you that. So the king able to take out that entire Tesla farm at the top, sneaking them balloons in to take down that mortar, and again we're just letting the queen sneak into this little pocket to really carve out a section of the base so you can control the pathing of your balloons a little bit more. And even if we don't get all of the air defense or any of the key defenses, we've actually taken out, I mean, the Teslas are very powerful against the balloons, guys. I don't think people realize how powerful they are. We've narrowed the base, we've controlled the pathing of the balloons. Just check out the queen here. We haven't broke in and taken her down, so we need a plan for that. Now the plan can evolve around the spell. So as the balloons move forward, that rage spell is super important, raging them balloons up, but not only the balloons, the lava pups and that skeleton spell as well. Look at them all just spawning, distracting that queen in that rage, taking her down. So you don't always have to take the queen down as part of your kill squad. You can adapt on the fly, and I'm sure you guys have seen that as well. Kind of missing a lot of the attack here, but spreading the balloons right around the base again as their main group of balloons come forward. So you've got a little bit of cover fire. You can then sneak them in. There's no point in circling the whole base at once because you're just maximizing the defenses. You're allowing them to shoot at each and every one of your balloons. Obviously control the attack as the balloons move across and start attracting the fire of the arch towers on the back end. That's when you then want to be sneaking more balloons in with them haste spells. So again, brilliant attack, plenty of cleanup troops in terms of them lava pups and the minions, and just check out all of them balloons left over. There is absolutely stacks of them, guys, and I always love a good Lavaloon attack because personally I'm just not that good at them, to be honest. Make sure to drop me any tips below if you feel that there's something in that description that I have missed. Is the war about to finish? 20 seconds left over, and we have an attack against DJ. Well, let's just see what happens. I'm actually going to fly into one more attack here. Let's show you an attack strategy we haven't shown. How about number 25 here by CombatKing? Shout out to CombatKing, one of my frequent viewers and amazing attackers. And again, I love how he just dissects this base. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? We have all of the air defense in a straight line, all of the wizard towers in a straight line. Often that can throw people off. It really can if you just get thrown by a base like that. But it's just trying to plan the attack, not rush in there. And I think he does a brilliant job with this. So he's luring the CC quite easily here, coming forward with a couple of golems and the wizards to create that funnel on the western side, using the poison spell not only on the CC, but the enemy queen there as well, so kind of getting double value from it. And once that has all gone down, that's obviously a major, what was that wizard doing at the top? Go after the barracks. You'd have been out of range, buddy. Anyway, as we move forward, wall breakers brilliantly opening up this area, and the ballers, again, at Town Hall 9, you need to be taking ballers in the clan castle, unless your strategy just, you know, is something crazy. We're going to get all of them wizard towers, and for the Hog Riders again, giant bombs with wizard towers splash damage. That's massive for the Hog Riders. Try and get them down. Very surgical. Notice how as these defenses around outside here are getting distracted, we're slowly just bringing a couple of troops in. Again at the top here, a couple of Hog Riders just sneaking in. They can almost snipe them buildings off because they're distracted by the heroes, by the ballers in the middle there. And he's got jump spells to access the entire base. Now what I really like about this is, remember when he did the wall breakers at the start? He could have used that jump spell as almost a backup had he have failed that wall breaker, and he'd have still got the ballers right into this section that they are now, and then used the Hog Riders on the back end. However, since he was able to take out that area with the wall breakers, just adapted the plan in order to help the Hog Riders, or at least I think that is what he did. Make sure to let me know if you do indeed watch this video, CombatKing, what your plan was and whether I got that right. But I'm pretty sure that that is what he was after. Plenty of hit health left on them ballers, and just using them Hog Riders actually to protect the troops in the middle. As the defenses were distracted, bringing the Hog Riders in, making sure they went down so that the queen and the ballers in that middle were protected, and just very nicely dissected that base in terms of, you know, prioritizing the defenses. So war has ended, and it has indeed finished. We even missed one of our attacks there as well. So a brilliant war between two fantastic clans, really. Again, this is a friendly war. It's not CWL, anything like that. So it is just a friendly war. You know, two serious clans, but definitely, you know, gonna stress this is not part of any league or it's super important war. Just a friendly one, guys. So there you have it, 108 stars to ourselves. Fantastic stuff. Should we show you one more attack? I feel we need to. There's plenty of others to show you, but one attack strategy that we haven't shown you at Town Hall 9 is the Witch Slap strategy. And again, guys, it is super powerful, so I feel like you've gotten a good mix there of Town Hall 9 attacks. Let's just show you this Witch Slap one. So as we come forward then, what you want to be looking for in these bases, it's really prioritizing the air defense. So notice how they're all at the side there. Now you could look at this in terms of the dragons, take out the air defense, do the same with the Lavaloon. But actually what you can do, if you can get access right the way through the base, you can bring witches and healers around the outside. Often we'll even incorporate just a queen walk around the outside. So we actually bring the queen on the area that's closest to the air defense, just because she's got better range, she's going to reach them quicker, whilst the healers are a bit more protected. Whereas over by the witches, we obviously don't want them hitting them air defense, because then the witches are completely exposed. The queen at least can last a little bit. You've got her ability. What's beautiful about this is that the healers keep the witches up, and look at the skeletons running around the outside. They then attract the fire of the defences. They also take out the trash buildings on the outside, whilst the witches stand that little bit further back and end up shooting over the wall to them point defences. So point defences on the outside are fantastic. That's great. The witches can reach them as long as them healers are going to be protected. And again, as long as you can get into the base itself, then the clan castle of bowlers and your king, if you do take witches around the outside, sometimes you might even take your queen in the middle, they can then wreck the middle, and you've kind of got 3 lines of fire, which work very, very nicely. Other things you need to watch out for are the mortars, but when you again leave them until the back of the raid, what you tend to find is they just lock onto the skeletons. It's really at the start of the raid, if they can lock onto the witches, that you need to have a plan for that, guys. So I hope that has helped you guys out. Fantastic war by Elite Gaming and Dark Looters Z. Again, all of our feeder clan information is down in the description. I hope that's helped you with some Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 9 strategy. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Clash of Clans. I've been your host, Judo Sloth, and until next time, guys, peace out.
Stay tuned for more Clash of Clans.